There can only be one. That's right. There can only be one NBA champion. And why shouldn't it be your team? That's the question we're here to ask. And we've got the right man to answer that question. It's Tim Bontemps. And he's going to give us 3 reasons why the Celtics could win it all this year. So, Tim, what you got?
Well, Roz, let's start with the most obvious one, and that's two-way elite wing play, right? When you look at the NBA right now, what's the most valuable commodity you can have in a league is top-level players on the wing. We see over and over again over the years, you've got to have elite perimeter players to win. In particular, you got to have elite wing players, guys like Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and the Boston Celtics have both Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, two of the best two-way wings in the league, and they've got them together. And when you go through and look at the competition they have to go up against in the playoffs, you've got to not only handle one of those guys, which not every team has the ability to handle one of them, but they have two of those guys that they could throw at teams that could score 30 each a night. And when you look at that kind of weaponry on the perimeter, I think when you're trying to list reasons why the Celtics can win the title, that's the biggest one, is that they've got two guys that a lot of teams are going to have a lot of trouble to slow down on the wing.
And we want to win a championship, and if along the way we're the best duo, we'll take it.
Oh, I'm with you 100%. I mean, that tandem, that duo is one of the toughest in the league. You got Jaylen, you got Jason. But what else do the Celtics got? What's your second reason?
Well, another one they've got is elite three-point shooting. The Celtics get up as many threes as anybody in the league. And when they shoot them well, when they're over 40% this season, Boston is 30-1. Now, obviously, you say, well, there's going to be plenty of games when they shoot under 40%, which there are. But it's almost half the games they've played this season. They've basically been undefeated when they hit 40% of their threes. When you look at Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, you got guys like Grant Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, Derek White, Al Horford. They got a lot of guys around them that can get up threes, and their goal every night, according to Coach Joe Mazzulla, is to try to win the math problem.
I love three-pointers. I like math.
And they feel like if they shoot more threes than their opponent, they're going to feel pretty good about their chances. And we've seen all year, Boston's leaned in heavily to shooting the three ball. And in particular against Milwaukee, they've had a ton of success, hitting a ton of threes that beat them 2 out of 3 times. So I think when you're, again, start with that elite wing play, then you talk about the ability to have a lot of shooting, and that's going to be a recipe for success for the Celtics.
I've never really been a big algebra or calculus girl myself.
I'm very good at math.
But I do know that, hey, it's a numbers game. So the math's got to math. You got to fix that math problem there. All right, so you gave us a whole lot of offensive equation there with three-point shooting of the Celtics. I asked you for 3 reasons why. So what's number 3?
Well, let's go to the other side of the ball, Roz. Let's talk about the versatility and athleticism the Celtics can bring on the defensive end of the court. You go back to the middle of last season when they really started to turn things around after their up and down start. It really rode on their strength of their defense and how they were able to shut teams down. And while they haven't been quite at the same level this year, they're still in the top 5 in defensive rating. And that's with Robert Williams, probably their most impactful defensive player, missing a ton of time. That's with Marcus Smart, the reigning defensive player of the year, dealing with ankle injuries all year. And when you look at Boston going into the playoffs, they can roll out there with lineups with those 2 wing players, Smart, Williams, and Al Horford. They could go smaller with guys like Derek White and Grant Williams off the bench. They can really match up with any team that they play in terms of style. If they want to play small against a team like Golden State, they can do that. They have multiple guys to throw at Joel Embiid inside. They have multiple defenders to throw at Giannis Antetokounmpo. They have the ability to match up with whoever they play in a way that really no other teams in the league do from a defensive versatility standpoint. So they've got elite perimeter play on the offensive end. They get up a ton of threes, and they have the ability to be as versatile defensively as anybody in the league. So that's why Boston has been near the top of the standings all year, and why, if they win the championship, it's going to be because of those 3 things.
Our guys are taking the challenge defensively. That's the best way to put it.
Let's play devil's advocate. What could trip them up? Why might they not win?
Couple different things. First of all, let's go back to that 3-point shooting, right? The Celtics are not a team that really gets to the free throw line. They don't put a lot of pressure on the rim. They're pretty reliant on hitting outside shots. Now, when they hit those shots, they can look unbeatable. But when they're not hitting those shots, and Jason Tatum is going 5 for 18 and Jaylen Brown is going 7 for 19, they don't look like the same level team nearly at any level. Then let's look at the injury component. Talked about Robert Williams missing a bunch of time. Marcus Smart has missed time. Al Horford has not played any back-to-backs this year. He's in his late 30s. They have a lot of key guys who've missed a lot of time. And ultimately, for as good as Jason Tatum is, he has fallen out of the MVP race for a reason, even though he's going to be 4th or 5th. If you're going guy for guy with him and Giannis Antetokounmpo, him and Steph Curry, maybe even him and Joel Embiid, you're probably taking the guy on the other team. So the Celtics are going to be more, for as good as Tatum and Brown are, it's going to be more of an ensemble cast for them to win. We don't often see that be the thing that gets teams over the line. So, look, Boston's been one of the best teams in the league all year for a reason, but part of the reason this thing is wide open is because there isn't anybody that's a perfect team. And for as good as the Celtics are, they do have some flaws. They're going to make it interesting to see how they handle them as the playoffs move along.
Yeah, no, it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out, although the Celtics as a team have overcome quite a bit of obstacles this season already, so they've shown a lot of heart. We'll see what they got in the playoffs. Tim, you're the best. You come with the facts. You come with the answers. Thank you for giving us the case for the Celtics and their chances at a championship.
Anytime, Ross. Thanks for having me.